You know, Jesus has been making some appearances in my apartment. Let me tell you, about a week ago, when I went to bed, I left my calendar at the bottom of my computer table where I work on the computer. And I remember that the middle page was kind of, loose, but it was still attached. It was still attached to my calendar. And I remember that because I remember thinking, I need to put that calendar away because I might step on it and damage it. And then my Thornbirds book was down there too because I had just finished reading the Thornbirds. When I woke up the next morning and looked underneath my computer table, this page had been totally ripped out of my calendar. I live in this apartment by myself. Nobody else lives in here with me. I thought there was a scuffle in my room when I was sleeping. And that night I kept waking up every couple hours too, like something was waking me up. I don't know what it was, and then I'd go back to sleep. You know what I think happened? Jesus Christ fights Zack Knight in my apartment. I think Zack Knight came into my apartment, maybe using an invisibility shield so I couldn't see him, just like he did with Ludmila. He gave her an invisibility shield so she could trip me, and you can see the damage to that right there. See, I still have scar tissue from what Ludmila did to me. And I think that Zack Knight tried to get onto he came into my apartment using his 21st century technology. And he tried to log on to my computer and impersonate me. And Jesus came in and beat him up. And then there was a scuffle in my room, which explains why this page was ripped out of my calendar. If you can see, I had to use staples to fix it right there. Can you see it? The staples. Well, anyways, there and right there, I had to staple that page in there. The June page got ripped out. I didn't do it. I know when I went to bed that page was in there. So when I came out there the next morning and my Thornbirds book had like a wrinkle on the pages right here, I fixed it, but there was a wrinkle in here that wasn't there before. So there was a fight in my room, and I think it was between Jesus and Zack Knight, and I think Jesus kicked Zack Knight out of my apartment. He beat him up. I really believe that. Nobody lives here except me, so how did the page get ripped out? Okay, you said you got a bad memory. No, man. No, man. Another weird thing that happened a couple days ago, when I posted my last video, I was getting irritated. I was thinking, I don't put ads on my videos. And I noticed all these ads on my videos. And then I went and looked at my YouTube account and discovered somebody went into my YouTube account and set it up for monetization. That is, for it to have ads. To be honest with you, a couple years ago, I tried to do that. But Zack Knight and the Jesuits caused problems, so I couldn't get into the program to put ads up on my YouTube. So I just gave up and said, that's okay. It's probably better without ads anyway. I don't want to have this commercialistic image. Well, lo and behold, a couple days ago, I went in and somebody set up my YouTube account for monetization. And they actually chose which videos I should monetize. And it was very detailed. It was like set up on how to do it, like to have a video show up at the beginning and one off to the, an ad at the beginning and then one off to the side. I thought, who did this? I said, whoever they were, they're trying to help me. Apparently, they're trying to help my finances. Well, I emailed Terrance Jenkins about it. And Terrance said he spoke to Jesus about the monetization of my YouTube account. He said, and I said, you know what, Terrance, I think Jesus did this. And Terrance spoke to Jesus about it. See, Jesus comes and visits people at Church of Gail all the time. In fact, when I posted my last YouTube video, one of my followers made a comment that Jesus and Terrance came into her room and said that everything I said was true. And I was kind of skeptical. I thought, is she making fun of me? But I did some research on her. I think she really was telling the truth. If you live on Church of Gail, you have the privilege of getting to see Jesus because he'll show up at Church of Gail. It's this spaceship that's around, that floats around in space and lands on Earth occasionally. All the Gail Chana Fox News people live at Church of Gail, and the Gail Chana Fox News channel, I believe, is also at Church of Gail. And if you live on Church of Gail, you get to see Jesus because he shows up there all the time. That's his church. So Anyways, Terrance asked Jesus about it, and Jesus just winked at him. He said, Jesus, did you set up monetization for Gail's YouTube videos? And Jesus just winked at him. So there was your answer. I said, Jesus, thank you. I wasn't going to make a video about this, but in my devotions, I'm reading about King Hezekiah and how God did all these miracles for him. And King Hezekiah got proud, and he forgot to thank Jesus. And I thought, ooh. It was like Jesus was saying, hey, Gail, tell the world about this. Don't keep this to yourself, because I'm testing you to see if you're going to be a grateful child. So I'm telling you people, okay? Another thing. I'm reading about the kings of Israel right now in my Bible study, and how God tested them, and those who abandoned God and worshipped idols, they suffered, man. Their kingdoms got taken over by their enemies. They got poor. They couldn't eat. They didn't have enough food. So, you know, it was like Jesus was saying, Gail, as long as you obey me, as long as you put me first, as long as you stay humble, as long as you love me the way you've been doing, I'm going to take care of you. Don't you worry, Gail. Just like I took care of the good kings. You just don't be like one of them evil kings, and you're going to be just fine. So I'm going to try to be like my ancestor David. He was a good king, except for the, you know, the Bathsheba incident. None of us is perfect. Regarding the naked pictures out there, some of my fans seem to think they got this big deal. Oh, your trolls are so dangerous, because that's how all those naked pictures get out there. Hey, don't be stupid, man. You think Zack Knight is not capable of stealing naked pictures? Did you know he's had cameras in my apartment since the 1990s? You're not any safer than I am. In fact, if he wanted to, he could get a naked picture of you and put it out there. He says, well, he hasn't. It's because he's not interested in doing it. He's got to be picky about who he targets. If he puts everybody's naked pictures up, if you come out of your shower and there's a camera in your apartment, and he takes a picture of you, you know, naked, and then posts it out there, you know, the Jesuit order is going to go down. Everybody's going to say, who did this? They'd find out it was the Jesuits, and they'd go down. They're not stupid. So they got to be particular about who they target. They got to pick somebody that they can label as crazy, so that when I am targeted and my naked pictures get out there, they can either blame it on my men or blame it on me for being crazy. So I'm the one they're interested in. That's why my naked pictures are getting out there. Hey, if they were interested in you, your naked pictures would get out there too, and there'd be nothing you could do to stop them. We're dealing with a Satan incarnate, Zack Knight. He's a computer genius, so, you know. But of course they say, oh, it's because your men are trolls. Oh, no, man. That's what Zack wants you to believe, okay? If you're dumb enough to believe that, you know, what can I say? He's a genius, and he's got you all fooled. So the only reason my naked pictures are out there, actually one of the naked pictures that was out there is the Gail android stole it. She used her advanced technology, and then Zack managed to get it from the Gail android. It was the one about with the dildo going into my vagina. Zack, the King James only people somehow used their technology to get that from Zack, and he was carrying that picture around in his pocket, which he snitched from the Gail android. So that's how that one got out there. There's also a naked one of me from, I think it's video 3, from Terrance Jenkins' Quebec trial. What happened with that one, I saw that video when it first got posted at Terrance Jenkins' YouTube channel, and the Jesuits did something. They used their fancy technology on Terrance Jenkins' download, and they inserted the naked picture in there. During the trial, Vladimir Putin stole some naked pictures that I sent to Vladimir Putin that he was parading around his house, because it gives him morale. And she stole it and used it in the Quebec trial and showed it before millions of people. And so already, because the Jesuit Ludmila flashed it before millions of people, that's how that one got out. So, And you say, well, why don't you tell Terrance to take down the video number 3? Well, it's not a very well-focused naked picture, and people aren't going to really see too much, so I'm not that worried about it. I'd much rather people know the truth about what happened in the Quebec trial than worry about covering up my privacy. So I'm not going to stress out over that one. Besides, I'm not really that much to look at anyway, so I'm not that worried about it. Let's see, let's go on here. If Zack was interested in you, he'd steal your naked pictures and get them out there. She says, well, I'd never be dumb enough to put them online. He doesn't need that, folks. Did you know he's got cameras in my apartment? He could just snap a picture of me and put it out there right now. But he's not going to do that because he doesn't want to get blamed for it. He's got to do it in a way where he can make it look like my men are doing it and he's not doing it. But he's doing it, okay? And my men and Zack are different entities. They are not one and the same. He just wants you to think that. He's a computer genius, man. He could put your naked picture out there just as easily as mine if he was interested in you. And there's nothing you could do to stop him either. I've given up worrying about stuff that's out of my control. He's a computer genius. Let me tell you how good he is. You know that book, First Person, which is Vladimir Putin's book about his life? Well, the first time it came out, his wife was called Larissa, which was the name of his wife who died in 2000. Well, when President Bush forced Vladimir to acquire Ludmila and marry her in November 2001, they had to switch out all the books that had the name Larissa to the Western world. This isn't fooling the Russians. The Russians know Vladimir's wife was Larissa. So they switched out all the books, and they also did a memory work on those who had the previous version and caused them to lose their memories about Vladimir's wife so that they did brain control memory switch outs. How do you win with an enemy like this? Only Jesus can beat them. None of us has any privacy. None of us even has control over our own brain. I make slips with my tongue all the time because I'm on Seroquel. That kind of prevents a full brain control. These Jesuits can take memories out of your head and replace it with a false memory. They've done this to Brent Spiner and to my men and to me. They don't do it as much to us now that I'm on Seroquel. It makes it harder. I'm just letting you know none of us is safe, okay? If you think you're safer than me, Zack's got you tricked. It's because he's not interested in you. He's interested in me. You know, he's really hyped up about this next book that I'm writing. And I write my own copy cover, you know, for advertising the book. And here's what it says. Brent Spiner, Vladimir Putin, Jesus Christ, and Gail Chana battle Satan's empire in the sweeping saga of passions, dreams, and crushed hopes. Each page enthralls you with the audacity of rich, believable portrayals in this powerful, moving, and life-changing true story. That's my next book, and I'm really excited about it. I think I'm going to be done by Christmas. And Terrance says it's amazing. And Jesus, I can tell, is helping me write it. It's going to be better than Silver Skies. I've grown as a writer, and I'm better at creating believable and interesting characters. I'm better at plot, better at dialogue. This next book is going to be a page-turner and a blockbuster. But Jesus said so. He said so. And since Jesus says I'm going to finish the book, that means I'm not going to be out on the streets, so I'm not worried about that either. Okay? I couldn't finish the book if I was out on the streets. So he said I'm going to finish it. If Jesus says it, it's going to happen. I tried to create a book that will be as interesting a read for the people as it was for me to read the Thornbirds and Exodus, which were page-turners for me. I couldn't put those books down. And I've strived to create a book of the same caliber, and I'm doing it. You know, a blockbuster book deals with issues that hit us at a deep emotional level, and every page has conflict related to the story question, and you care about the characters. The conflict grows and grows, making the leaders lose themselves in the story, and that's what my next book's going to do. It's going to be a blockbuster, and Zack Knight knows it. The cast of characters are going to be Brent Spiner, Gail Chana, that's my character's name, Laurie McBride, Matthew McConaughey, Jesus Christ, Judge Terrance Jenkins, Vladimir Putin, Hugh Jackman, Ludmila Putin, Larissa Putin, the real name of Vladimir's wife who died, Rule 13, Zack Knight, George Bush, Laura Bush, Gerard Butler, Camila Alves, Barack Obama, Kim Jong-il, Dmitry Medvedev, Bill Clinton, and Rich Arnold. Table of contents so far. The first section is Brent's Forbidden Ground, and I cover from 1990 to 1992. And then there's a September 1992 section called The Stalker for a Lifetime on Page. Then there's a 1992 to 1995 section for Brent's life, 1996 to 1997, 1998 to 1999, 2000. In other words, the first third covers Brent and I's relationship. The second third, me and Vladimir, and the last third's going to be the Quebec trial. Really excited about this book. It's going to be great. Zack Knight knows it. That's why he's going overboard to try to make me appear like a crazy and everything else.